Welcome to Our Schools, Our City. And believe it or not, this is our halfway to the year.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I can't believe how it's
It's hard to
flown by,
believe.
and we're approaching winter break, and yes, we have had one snow day so far.
And hopefully the only one.
That's what
I'll
our
keep
hope.
fingers
That is what our
crossed.
hope is, exactly. But this is really an exciting time of year. This is, often in the schools we're attending concerts and we're seeing presentations by the students. And it's really a way to showcase our arts and our music and all of the wonderful kinds of performances that the students are able to put on to show what they've learned so far. And today we have a special segment, which is always one of my favorite, which is about our music education program here. We have some very special guests.
Yes, we do. This is always a really fun show, and I think this is going to be even more special than shows in the past. This time of year, there's definitely music in the air. There's a lot of celebration, a lot of performances as students and teachers showcase the hard work that their students have been doing throughout the year. We're excited to talk about music education and the role that music plays in helping our students prepare for success in academically and in life. So let's meet our guest today. Somebody who's been on our show numerous times, and we're happy to welcome him back, is Mr. Rick Saunders, Director of Music and Performing Arts. Thanks for joining us,
It's wonderful to be here.
We're happy to have you here. Also joining us, we have 3 students from Somerville High School. We have Ekat Hicks-Magna, who is in the chorus, and also in the Somerville High School musical. Thank you for joining us, Ekat.
Thank you.
In addition to that, we have Youdson Felix, who is also a member of the chorus, orchestra, Somerville High School musical, and is a Berklee City participant. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And finally, we have Urias Garcia, who is a member of the jazz band, and he's also in the drumline and the Somerville High School band. Thanks for joining us, Carlos.
Thank you.
That's great. Well, thank you. Welcome. And thank you for, music is always something I appreciate even though I can't do. And I'm always curious when guests come on that have been playing and performing, how did you start with music? Where did it begin in your life?
You want to take that one?
Yeah, I started playing music ever since I could remember. Like, my family is very musical, so I just grew up playing music, and it's just part of my life now. So.
And where did you start when you were in the Somerville Public Schools? What was the first instrument or
I
exposure to music?
started in the chorus in 3rd grade, and then started playing cello 4th grade, and then went through, and then high school I picked up not only a chorus and orchestra, but also a drumline.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
That's wonderful. And what K-8 did you come from?
I came from the Kennedy School.
Kennedy, yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Great. Kat?
Same. I've just been singing for a while. I've lived a lot of places, so as soon as I got to Somerville, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna join the chorus, and I'm not dropping it, even with all the hectic AP classes and other things that are coming up through my junior year. I want to stay in chorus because it's a great place to grow.
That's great. And have you always been a singer? Do you play instruments?
I want to learn the piano because I think it'll just help me grow as a musician. But yeah, I've always been a singer primarily.
That's awesome. And you've been in some of the shows as well.
I have. I've been in 2 of the musicals so far, and I hope to keep on doing musicals not only at Somerville High but in other places as well. It's just been amazing.
That's great.
I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more about the musical later on in the show. I hear
Absolutely.
it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
And what K-8 school did you attend?
So I wasn't here in Somerville for
Okay.
that part of my life. I went to middle school in Brazil,
Okay,
and I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky.
So
I didn't really go to middle
that's
school.
great.
That's great.
Good. We're happy to have you in Somerville.
A great addition. That's great. And
Carlos?
So I started playing when I was 9 years old at church. Then when I came here, I started playing drums with
That's great, yeah.
with a new church. And then when I got to Somerville High, I was playing for Drumline, percussion, and I was doing what is this called? The mixer production. So I was doing some beats and everything.
Okay.
And now I'm still playing for a musician.
Right.
We are doing a city. So
That's fantastic.
I'm working on that.
Okay. And we were talking earlier, you also play the piano,
The piano,
right?
yeah. I started playing
That's
piano
great.
when I was 11 years old.
That's wonderful.
amazing.
Thank you.
And Carlos went to the Winter Hill Community School.
Oh, okay,
for the
great.
the year before.
And
he came.
you're a sophomore, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's great. And we couldn't have a bigger champion for our music
Thank you.
than Rick. And so maybe tell our parents a little bit that are watching, some of the wonderful things that, are built into Somerville High School specifically for students who have participated in music or who haven't and want to get engaged.
Sure. Well, one of the most wonderful things about Somerville High School and the music and theater program is that it combines students from so many different backgrounds.
Yep.
And we're so lucky in Somerville to have such a wonderful, diverse group of students from different places and different learning experiences, different socioeconomic places. And they all come together for collective learning. And collective learning is just what we do in the music and theater department.
Yep.
So if you came into our band and you saw kids who probably have been playing since they were 4th grade or 5th grade, along with students who just came from Brazil, Haiti, El Salvador, places across the world, learning next to each other, learning from each other, being, team players, developing critical and creative thinking skills. And then it kind of culminates at this time of year, concert season, or when we put on a production, and you see these amazing young people shining. Like brillante estrellas, like bright stars, and you get to see kind of the best of them in a limited amount of time and space. And I'm really proud of all the obstacles that they all have kind of overcome to make music part of their life. As you know, at the high school, there's a lot of different commitments for high school students. There's work and family commitments and extracurricular activities, sometimes athletics. And what having music classes during the school day does is allow every student to access it.
Right.
And it's great to work for such an inclusive community that really understands it's important to have that happen during the school day. Because we also know the social emotional life of a young person in high school can be difficult, or maybe not for you guys, I'm sure, right? And maybe you guys can speak a little bit how music and the theater provides you with a little bit of space in your day and a little bit of kind of a feeling of being in a family, and how that hopefully will de-stress you.
And I think that was you kind of alluded to that, Kat, when you talked about how committed you were to staying involved in music and in the performing arts, despite the fact that you're taking a lot of AP classes as well.
Yeah, I would say so. I did feel really welcome when I joined the chorus because, I was just the new student freshman year. I didn't know what's happening, but I did find a community there. And just seeing, especially with, the theater department, Mr. Jabor, he's an amazing director, and he has just done the most to make sure that everyone feels included regardless of identity. And he's someone I feel like I can rely on, as well as Mr. Saunders and Miss Mosby. There's just so many amazing people that I am so grateful for, as well as Miss Larasa. She's the dance teacher. So I do feel like there are people that have my back, and like Mr. Saunders said, that understand that music is a part of my life, and that I don't want to give it up to take an extra AP class, because that's just too much. And I was like, I'm going to limit this. And I told myself I was not going to drop chorus to do, something extra.
Youdson?
Doing the musical I did it 2 years. I did the show 2 years, but I wish I did it more because it's just such a great place to be. Because being able to take that time out of your day and focus on music, on becoming someone else, on doing what you love. I feel like it's just something that I would not be able to live without, because it's just music to me is my life. It's everything that I remember. It's everything I know. I know it's cliche to say it, but it really is, because I don't know how I would succeed so far in my classes without having the skills that I've learned from music in the past years.
It's wonderful. Carlos?
So, I feel really good being part of a jazz band, and I'm doing a lot of music, So I feel that sometimes when I'm sad or something like that, I start playing piano, and I feel that that's helped me a lot.
That's great.
I feel that when I'm writing songs, that helps me to be part of something I don't know how to explain it, but it's feeling really good, you know.
Does it help you relax?
Yeah, he's helped me a lot.
Okay.
That's helped me a lot.
Do you feel like music has helped you in other parts of your learning, like in academics as well?
Yeah, sure. That's helped me to be being a professional musician.
Uh-huh.
So I'm still working, you know, to get
Right.
to super level.
And do you foresee that music is going to be something that's going to be part of your life for
Of course.
the rest of your life?
Of course.
So, Rick, you've been here over the long haul and sort of seen music evolve, music education evolve. And, just in a short period of time, we've added so much relative to theater, dance. And so maybe talk a little bit about that. What's that been like to watch as sort of the orchestrator in many ways, right, for the conductor for our music program?
It's a joy. I think our collective vision for education is so right on when it regards participation in the arts. So we've kind of worked in our departments to demystify participation in music, in theater, because it's for everyone.
Yeah.
It's just as much of a human endeavor as language, as math, as other elements. And we have successfully, in most cases, tried to bring down some of the barriers that stop students from participating, whether it's the myth of talent, like everyone thinks that they need what we discuss as talent to participate, which isn't true. Or the myth that you have to start playing an instrument when you're 3 or 4 years old in order to perform at maybe a high school level. And one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite music educators, Pete Seeger, is that participation is going to save our civilization. And to see students participate at different levels, and to see like the 3 students here and to know them personally, and how many obstacles that they've overcome, and how many different things could lead them to other choices, but they've chose to participate. And then what happens is they make our community so much better. They make it a joy to come to work. And you guys, when people see you perform, whether it's on Channel 15 or on stage, older people who went to high school 50 years ago comment on how wonderful it is. New community members, faculty and staff, just it really gives them happiness. So,
So you mentioned community, and really music is part of the fabric of the Somerville community. And our students are very involved in that. Can you talk a little bit about the value of having students perform outside of the school and be part of community events?
Sure. So kind of music is one of the best project-based learning things, right? So we get together and we work together on what we call maybe a concert or a performance. We do stress that our learning process really isn't about the final outcome, but it's more about enjoying the process of learning.
Right.
When you take that and you bring it out to the community, you realize that music and theater and art has a place in our broader society. That it's the fabric of a lot of people's lives. Historically, music has inspired revolutions. It's inspired amazing, cultural movements. And in Somerville, we have some amazing partners outside of the school walls, whether it's the Honk Festival, whether it's our partnership with the Boston Chamber Music Society or our partnership with Berklee. And when we take the students out of the walls of our schools and bring them into the community, the students benefit from seeing the power of music, and then the community understands, like, hey, this is somewhat what our taxpayer money is going towards, really enriching the cultural elements of our city of Somerville.
So as students, when you think about all the different performances and groups that you've been able to do in your time, what stands out? What's a couple of memorable things that you've done that you've come away saying, wow, I'm really happy I did that?
My sophomore year, I believe it was, either sophomore or freshman year, I went on a trip with the orchestra over to New York, and we every other year they go and they perform somewhere. But this year we decided to perform at a senior home instead of like at a concert hall or something, and it was way more genuine than anything else I could have done. Like you could really see the enjoyment on their faces and stuff, and it's just the feeling that what I did with my music like makes you feel better, brightens up your day, brightens up your week and stuff. So
That's wonderful.
That's wonderful.
That's great.
So all the performances that I did the last year, on my freshman year, it was like I feel like I'm doing some work, with my friends. They helped me a lot to progress. So I feel that my best performance that I have was the last year. So we work a lot in one song that we was doing, and I feel that we do a great job, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So I know that the old musicians, we're gonna be like, you know, people's gonna know, gonna know like who we are, everything, you know.
That's right. Yeah, people can see how much effort you put into your work. Was it a song that you wrote? Because I know you like to write songs, right?
Yeah. So it's not easy, but nobody said that it's impossible, you know.
Right. That's right.
So I feel that God is helping me every time. So I give glory to God.
That's wonderful.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's great. And so a year from now, you'll be in a new building. What excites you about that, especially being in one building? What's exciting about that from the music and the art side?
Well, I think one of the best things of the new building and the planning is probably going to be the sound reinforcement and technology regarding the new auditorium. The old auditorium is wonderful. We love it. It's just a space that's really hard to sound reinforce. So the new auditorium, I think, is going to really showcase our students in a little bit better light. It's also going to be great to have dedicated practice rooms. So right now, you know, the band and the dance team and the dance class and other classes meet in the auditorium on the stage, and that just creates some issues. The teachers have dealt with it amazingly, but it would be nice to have our own dedicated space, and a space that reflects kind of some modern educational stuff, you know.
And it probably will lend itself more to interdisciplinary work as well, right?
We're hoping, yes. You know, we really would love to see more of music integrated into other elements of the curriculum, and being in one space is definitely going to help facilitate that.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now as we're in December, I know we're in the midst of the concert season.
Yes.
What's some of the things that are still happening, such as tonight?
Tonight is our amazing all-city middle school concert. So we have our all-city marimba ensemble. We have the first winter concert of our modern band, most kids from the Winter Hill Community School, our all-city chorus, our all-city band, and our all-city orchestra. And then all next week we'll be having concerts every day, every school, every K-8 school, and the Brown will have a concert, you know, between now and mid-January.
Wonderful.
Our high school concert, and you can see these amazing students perform, is Thursday, December 19th.
Great.
At 6:30 in the auditorium, and it probably will be our last concert, our last high school winter
right.
concert
In
in the
that
auditorium. So yeah, so we're kind of excited about that.
That's fantastic.
Yes, yeah. So one of the proudest things I feel about the support we get in Somerville is by the time mid-January comes, every student pre-K through 8 would have performed on stage.
That's incredible.
And that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And we also have such a showcase of an El Sistema program.
Yes, that was Tuesday. Yes,
That's
our
right.
summer program is
It was a
really strong.
fantastic concert.
Yeah, thank you.
I know I always feel so proud because in other districts they talk about music as like an extra or a piecemeal, and here our arts and music are center to what we do because we know what it means for the students. And we just have such talented musicians and musical educators like yourself, and all of our band leaders and all of our choir leaders and so forth. So we really are blessed in so many ways, you know, here in Somerville.
We are. Yeah.
So you're a senior, Youdson. How do you think music will play into your future?
I've always wanted to do music, but I felt like it wasn't the best route for me. But over the past 2 years, I've participated in the city music program, and it just opened my eyes to my possibilities. So now I have a new insight on what I can do and what is possible for me, and it fostered me to be able to take this and take music as one of my routes into my life. So I'm trying to do to go major in business and minor in music, so I can still be within music, but still get the conventional degree that is necessary in today's society.
That's great. And what are some of the schools you're applying to?
My top school for music is obviously gonna be Berklee College of Music, and then I'm going to apply to both Morehouse College in Atlanta and Howard University in Washington, D.C.
That's great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're rooting for you there.
Thank you.
That's great.
And Carlos is taking mental notes because he knows next year he needs to really get on his
That's right.
college
Junior,
searches.
start looking.
That's right.
So today we actually have, as toward the end of the show, a special piece.
Yeah.
And so I thought maybe we could spend a minute talking about how it came to be.
Sure. The jazz band has been working on a piece. The jazz band is conducted by Philip Grannon, who's a new educator here in Somerville. Has been wonderful. And Carlos wrote an instrumental music piece. They were rehearsing it. The Wednesday after Thanksgiving break, after we all found out that our good friend and fellow educator Leo DeSimone passed away suddenly, we talked about it and we suggested that we offer the piece up in memorial of him. Many people probably don't know that Leo attended every music event.
That's not surprising.
Yeah, he sat next to me for the whole musical Thursday before he passed. He loved jazz music. We talked about jazz music a lot. So when I approached Carlos and said, would you mind dedicating that song? And he was, of course. And we performed it at the school assembly last Wednesday. And
That's wonderful.
yeah. It shows the healing power of music. And I
Absolutely.
think Carlos's piece and how he wrote it really represents the spirit. Honestly, it was kind of funny that Mr. DeSimone was. You know?
Yeah, I wanted to take a moment to just share with the audience what a difficult last several weeks have been here in Somerville Public Schools. Mr. DeSimone was our associate principal, who also was our longtime CT director. And when I think over my career of the men of integrity that I've worked with, he's at the top. He was somebody that loved kids deeply, and that came in his daily action. And he loved his staff very much. And it's been a very hard time for our staff and certainly our students. Mr. DeSimone's passing leaves a hole that will never be filled. But the hope is that in things like the healing of music and the song that we'll hear today, thank you to Carlos, that those are steps in the direction of healing for our community. And so as we go into this break, it would be good to think of Mr. DeSimone and his family and keep them in your thoughts as well. So with that, I'd love to hear Carlos's song, and what a wonderful tribute. I'd also like to just thank, before we break, all of our staff here for helping us to bring the show on. Every single month that we come before you, it takes a lot of work on Ben Martin's part, on Lenny Scoletti's part, Joe Constantine and Steve DiCarlo. And so thank you very much, gentlemen, for helping to bring our show to the audience. I want to wish you all personally a wonderful holiday break. May it be safe and peaceful and full of good times with your family and your friends. And again, please keep Mr. DeSimone and his family and the Somerville Public Schools family in your thoughts.